Hello, it's me Flora, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. So it is September, well almost, hopefully by the time this video comes out it is before September. So this time for my bullet journal I thought I'd just let loose a bit, just do some doodling and really just not try to plan it out too much. So all I really did in preparation for this month's spread, and in particular for this video, was just draw out some things that I thought would not be as interesting to watch. Unless you enjoy watching me sketch out the September word and all of the, I guess, little details of the weekly spreads, then let me know in the comments, but otherwise I didn't think it was all that interesting. As always, my bullet journal videos are really just about the title page because everything else has remained the same, practically the same. For this month, I used this tan color, which I thought was a more vibrant yellow, but turns out I was wrong. And I used this to make little splotches on the edge, which you might have also seen me do in different shades of blues and greens in my June bullet journal video, so go back and have a look at that if you want to. But essentially I did the same thing, and to not make it too bland and boring, I thought I'd do some more doodles. I did some flowers, of course, in this purpley color. I mean, the color is purple, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I used a purple color that was kind of a violet. You know, I don't really know how to describe colors that well. And they had more pointed petals rather than the round petals with the blush pink. I used this blush pink to do little, you know, the classic flower shape, and I didn't connect the petals so that they're kind of, I guess, floating a little bit. The green was used for some hollow leaves. I don't know if I explained that very well, but basically if you drew a classic leaf shape, including the center vein, but without coloring it in, that's what I did. What else did I do? On top of that, I overlapped a lot of these together, and I used my 0.38 gel black ink Muji pen to draw out stems with the leaves on them, and they're also hollow because I thought I'd keep it airy. So the best way to do that was to not color them all in properly and just leave them kind of drifting and not outlining any of them, which you might have also noticed I didn't outline any of them. That was in attempts to make it airy and more spring-like, since it is spring here in the southern hemisphere. I feel like I just need to specify that in case someone's not watching this from the southern hemisphere and they're like, what the heck, what do you mean it's spring? It's clearly autumn. It's really hard not going off a script. Sometimes I do like a brief outline, but I'm actually in the middle of my exam week as I'm recording this narration, so
wish me luck on my exams.
Basically, I don't really have a script I'm going off right now. I'm kind of just thinking about it and staring at the page, and hopefully some insightful things come to me. Hopefully this brings you some kind of entertainment. I don't know, maybe this inspires you to decorate your bullet journal with these weird blobs and stuff. I kept it kind of simple with the decoration, or as simple as I think it could be. I think this was a good attempt at revamping what I did for May. If you watched that video, you would have known that I didn't really... It wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be, and I went through many trials, many errors, and this time I was just like, you know what, if we're loose, just let it come to you, don't overthink it, and it'll look fine. And I think it looked fine in the end. I think I'd give myself like an 8 out of 10 for this one, because every time I overthink my bullet journal spreads, it just turns out really just very unkept. Okay, so back to the September bullet journal. Everything functionally is the same. For the title page, if you can see what's on the screen right now, which hopefully I can edit this well enough that you can see what I'm describing, I did a rectangle on the page, and the border, so the outside of that rectangle, is where I put all the drawings so that it wouldn't be too cluttered, which is what happened in my May bullet journal. I'm still mad about that one. Anyways, so I put a calendar there just to fill up some space because I think I just left too much room, too much blank space. And honestly, looking back at it now, it does look a bit blank, but I'm not mad about it, and I feel like if I add more, it'll just look worse. So I'll just leave it at that. My study tracker is the same. This time I actually remembered to color in all of the subjects I do beforehand so that when I go through the flip through you can actually see what colors I organize them in. The habits and the mood are the same. I did a vertical layout instead of a horizontal layout. Oh, and one issue that you will notice if you look close enough at the habit tracker is that I've got 10 calendar box things, meaning I need to do 10 things to track. I usually only have 8 and I accidentally did an extra 2. So please comment down below what I can track because I've basically thought of everything I can do that's a healthy habit. Or I guess not healthy habits, but just things I want to track, you know? Like with YouTube, I'm not going to do it every single day. This is not my job, as you can tell by my subscriber count and my view count and my engagement levels. But I do want to track how much I do YouTube. It's my hobby. I do it as much as I want to do art and I want to, you know, keep improving. I had 2 extra things. So tell me what you track in your habit tracker if you have one, or what you would like to track that I haven't put on there yet. Let me know. Let's start a conversation. The mood, I changed it a little bit, not that much really. So it is going vertically, but I ran out of room because my habit tracker was shifted 5 millimeters to the right instead of being in its usual position with the first dot being the first line I draw. I don't know if I explained that well, once again. Not the best at narrations. But that meant my mood would have to be also shifted 1 to the right, but there were no more dots. So I did a quote there. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path, which I think is a great way to sum up what this month might be. I'm going to be rather busy. So hopefully things that aren't the best will actually be good. Just depends on how I interpret it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, comment down below what you liked the most, what you want to see more of, any feedback, constructive criticism, whatever you want, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have subscribed but you do not have post notifications on, what are you doing? Turn those on, hit the bell, you know? Anyways, I will see you next time. Have a lovely day. Bye!